Well, hello, my beautiful Librans. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your monthly reading for July 2025. I've already cleansed your space and I've meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I'm using Gaia chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound, okay? So let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Librans, I have never ever seen the Gaia chimes move like that before, okay? To wildly swing around the body of water that I use for scrying. I mean, I try and hold the Gaia chimes as steady as possible, but they are quite heavy, so sometimes it's really hard. But, you know, I try to allow the energy to just display itself with the Gaia chimes. And I feel like you're very quietly reflective at this time on the next moves in life, as it were. And I feel something is starting to gain momentum and it's really going to flourish or come alive for you. A lot of success, something bubbling up. I feel quite excited in the energy. It just feels like for some of you, either something's coming alive, or maybe some of you, it feels like you've been laying dormant and now you're coming alive. I'm not sure. I feel July is going to hit different for you in some way. So we have officially moved into Cancerian season, of course. July has come around already. I can't believe it. In a blink of an eye, here we are again, beautiful Librans. You know, why is time flying by so quickly? I have no clue. But anyway, this Cancerian season is a time where your heart space opens to nurture close relationships, to focus on the things you care about the most, and of course, to prioritize your own self-care needs. You're a healer, so a lot of you are going to be tapping into that healing side of yourself and nurture yourself differently with food or herbs or, you know, quiet time alone. But of course, on a personal level, July offers a softness to really tap into your rich inner world and lean into your emotional landscape to cathartically assess where you feel secure and of course where you feel you could reinforce some boundaries. Also, a lot of you may be craving time away. And if you're lucky enough to have a vacation or a staycation, even a moment of stillness, it will give you time to recharge and refocus. But it will also remind you that there truly is no place like home. So this month will set you thinking, where and who feels like home? Where do you feel like you belong right now? But most importantly, you'll be coming home to self with compassion to re-energize. So if you've been feeling a little bit detached from self recently, caught up in the busyness of life, the humdrum, constantly on the go, or even if you've abandoned aspects of self to give unconditionally to others or to a project, this is the month that encourages you to reacquaint with self. Enjoy moments of stillness to connect to your higher self, but also to submerge yourself in hobbies or quality alone time. And of course, let's not forget, Jupiter, my favorite planet of good luck, expansion, and opportunity, it will sit in the sign of Cancer until June 2026, increasing the opportunity for prosperity despite these very changeable environments that we are currently experiencing. Now, anything that you truly care about will be given a boost of positivity, a time of heightened emotions where you honor rather than suppress feelings, a reflective month where nostalgia could come knocking on your door to make you smile or even to plunge you into a deep healing process, to detach, let it go, and let it flow. This is a time where returning to happier times is what it's all about. Now, the full moon occurs in the sign of Capricorn, of course, from the 10th or the 11th of July, depending on where you are in the world. And this is where the work-life balance will be firmly on your mind. Now, it doesn't always have to be about work. It can be about your responsibilities. Saturn is a very hard taskmaster, and it reminds you to remain organized. Get your projects and tasks, your duties and those responsibilities done efficiently, and only then can you head out to play. Equally, if you've been working too hard and neglecting your own personal needs, July asks you to find balance and space for fun, to kick back and relax. You owe it to yourself to find that balance, to feel truly fulfilled. Easier said than done, I know, because life is very pressurized right now, but the season itself asks you to embrace the lull, okay? Now also we have Mercury retrograding from the 17th, so you may see a reemergence, or some of you will, a reemergence of an ex, or even, and this I feel is a lot of you, you may return to a project that you've been meaning to prioritize. Just got to go and get that card. One moment, please. Sorry about that, my beautiful Librans. The card that popped on the floor is the Seven of Wands. So you're under a lot of pressure right now. It's crossing the Tower. So some of you are feeling frustrated. You're trying to maintain and sustain your position in ever-changing environments. You're fed up of change. I feel a lot of you are like, I'm done with it. But if you're in charge of it, that's a different matter. And I feel because the protagonist energy is the Tower, it means you are restructuring something. Some of you have this real quest for independence as well. So if you feel like someone's been micromanaging you or trying to pigeonhole you into some sort of expectation, I feel like you're breaking free, okay? And you're freewheeling, you're doing your own thing. But, this is a period, of course, where, you're going to be thinking about structures in your life. And, some of you will return to hobbies or things that used to bring joy. A time where you felt things were just more easy, more innocent, more sort of like calm. So, of course, Mercury retrograde will dip into the mix from the 17th and kind of like give you a little bit of, I would say, frustration, because sometimes a Mercury retrograde, it can interfere with things like electricity, internet, app glitches, maybe, even power outages, and I would say as well delays in communication, because this tends to be a period where people are away or kind of like delegating their work because they're about to run out of the office early, for example. So you may encounter some delays in communication or something there, but also misunderstandings. It's always important to get everything in writing this month, especially when you have a Mercury retrograde. You've got a lot of sevens here. Seven of Wands here. We've got the Seven of Pentacles. So this is about maintaining and sustaining, checking the exchange, looking at alternative paths. This month, if you're searching for love, for example, we do have Uranus nestling up to your planet Venus, my beautiful Librans. And of course, this will reignite the spark in existing relationships whilst adding a spicy encounter for those who are single and ready to mingle. You could suddenly meet the love of your life. That's what that tower energy can be, and this will literally change your whole life there. But also, you know, it's important to remember that this month is all about home because of that Cancerian ingredient there. So you may make a surprising purchase for your home space, or suddenly revamp with some DIY or decluttering there, because your fourth house is also influencing you. So you're really going to be focused on your home life, a radical change there. Some of you could uproot and, you know, relocate somewhere else. Or you could actually, you know, suddenly have a creative spark and, you know, create something that beautifies your personal sanctuary. Cancerian season is always about feeling secure, though, having a foundation and being connected to those that you hold dear. However, there are energies outside of that to contend with this month. Uranus, as I mentioned, you know, it is a very unpredictable outer planet. Its middle name is Plot Twist, for it likes to disrupt the status quo. And that can be in a good way as well. It doesn't have to be negative, but it adds a very revolutionary and often rebellious dynamic. And as we are in Cancerian season, it's important to tap into your inner compass to navigate any surprises. And I feel like you are going to have a few surprises this month. But the Chariot card indicates you overcome any obstacles. And also, there's a lot of success here for you as well. Seven of Pentacles, you could see success in something that you were disappointed with initially. That's coming through there as well. Now, this month is all about how you feel. So you may even surprise yourself with a sudden change of direction that may shock others around you too. Now, in terms of global events, and please fast forward this part if you really don't wish to hear it, because I know it's quite critical right now, but Saturn and Neptune, they station, then retrograde, of course, and they move back into the sign of Pisces, which is very unique and a very big deal. This planetary movement has, in the past, coincided with significant global changes, political upheavals, revolutions, and the dissolving of structures. So on a global scale, I have to give it to you straight, maybe it's time to hold on to your hats, as we are in for a bit of a bumpy ride astrologically. I mean, you probably don't need me to tell you that. You can see this already. I almost don't want to think about what's next with all the chaotic energy swirling outwardly this month, as we've already seen the might of Saturn that shifted signs, of course. It's considered a cosmic bully, clashing with Neptune with such dynamism. We've seen already what it can really do. I mean, last month, it really threw its weight around. In June, of course, chaotically pushing us towards creating new structures or pushing us to the very limit with critical responses. And of course, you know, with the addition of the unstable Uranus, this month may add a shock factor before we see some sort of level of calm or some sort of conclusion there as well. Now, also, Uranus will leave the sign of Taurus, then dip into Gemini, so we could see some radical shifts economically from now until a major climax in November. And personally, I'm keeping an eye on a particular alignment called Kal-Sap Dosha, okay, and it's often called the Dragon's Grip, where 7 major planets align between Rahu and Ketu. Ketu, you know, I just want to say that again because I'm losing my voice a little bit there, but they are the north and south nodes of the moon, which are considered the dragon's head and tail. Now, my guides gave me this sentence, of course, and I can only give you what I was given, so let's dissect this together. But I was given the strait from Tokyo to Indonesia, a midway point marks the spot. Java shall quake as the ridge doth rise. Now, I cannot tell you if a major event will occur in this area in July or not. I'm not often given dates very specifically, okay, but this chaotic alignment, it will influence us heavily until July the 28th. So it's something to take note of, and you know, it can bring significant transformation in terms of landscapes and, of course, massive seismic and volcanic shifts that could impact us. It doesn't always have to be earthquakes, for example. It can be like volcanic plumage and things that kind of like get in the way of travel. So just be mindful of that as well. However, I want you to be aware with all these volatile cosmic alignments and clashes right now, it's really at its limit. I want you to be aware that as we move into Cancerian season, it searches for peace in the chaos. especially in turbulent times, and it seeks to find understanding and resolution in uncertainty. And you may be going through that right now in your private life too, because it affects us all collectively. So this will happen so that security can reign once more, so we can find a grounded position. It will try to guide us home towards peace and love, but it will have to work hard against these planetary shifts. And Saturn can actually be reframed. It's all about duty. You know, as we move through July and beyond, we all have a duty to passionately lead with the light in our hearts, to exact compassion and understanding. This is our world, and we have a right to live peacefully in it. So hold that vibration of peace, of love, and together we can shift the energy towards a world that we desire to actually live in. And on a personal level, of course, because there's many different levels to the energy. There's global, that is something out of our control. And then, of course, there is the personal energy as well that you have more control over. And this is what you're going to be focused on this month. You know, it is a month to maintain and sustain, to find comfort and joy in the present moment, and to make the long-lasting changes that you want to see in your own personal world. And lean into July as a respite before launching yourself forward towards accomplishing your goals with great speed. And of course, with Jupiter's great benevolence and support. Now, your first card there is a Tower. I did not choose the cards for you. The Tower indicates a restructure, a revamp. So some of you, especially since your fourth house is governing you at the beginning of the month, you could see a major revamp in your home. So this could be, as I mentioned, DIY, but it could be, you know, if you rent, for example, it could be that your landlord tells you that they're selling up, or that they need to make some major refurbishments, and it may kind of mess with your schedule or your intentions in some way. So it may mean that you have to move, for example, or it may mean that you have to factor in letting someone in to do some work in the property whilst you have to kind of try and get some time off work, or work around your schedule. So some of you may have a minor inconvenience going on with someone having to come into your environment to repair something, for example. But also some of you could have a monumental inconvenience at first with that Tower that says you need to radically shift or move. So if, for example, you know, you are moving home, I feel a lot of you, because the Chariot card is there, it could be that you're on the move. I mean, the Sun energy indicates you're moving somewhere better. So although it presents an inconvenience at first for some of you, I feel the Sun energy indicates that actually you end up in a place where it's really beautiful. There's more positivity. Maybe the neighborhood's better. It can indicate that there's a better energy in the building. It just feels like it's better somehow, and you feel freer. So this minor inconvenience can actually do you a favor. Okay, that's what I'm feeling there for a lot of you. But the Tower can also indicate that some of you are rebuilding after a shock. So if that's you, I'm sending you a huge hug out there and so much love, especially if this connects to the working environment or your foundation, because of course the fourth house is all about your stability or your foundation. And if you've got a Tower in the middle of it, it can indicate that for some of you, not all of you, but if you've come to this reading and you've been made redundant, or you have had some sort of shock bill come in that you're trying to recalibrate or manage at this time, it can be that you're rebuilding or trying to find your way through this change or this shift. But looking at the energy, the Seven of Wands, you maintain your position. You are someone who is willing to go the distance. You're strong enough. It feels very much like you are protected and directed at this time. And, you know, the Ace of Swords indicates an epiphany, a realization that actually it's better this way because it sets you free to take this new opportunity that's coming on in for you. The Judgment energy, it feels like whatever this change is, it's aligning you with your sense of purpose. And the Sun, with that Seven of Pentacles, it can indicate that, you know, perhaps where you were, you weren't feeling so fulfilled. But the Sun energy indicates a new opportunity being offered to you where you can grow and expand. And for some of you, of course, if you are like an independent worker, you have your own business, for example, you could be noticing a lull during this period. Maybe everybody's on vacation or they're traveling, and it just feels like things are not as busy as usual. This tower can indicate that you're having some major breakthroughs, lots of new ideas there. A lot of you can see that you've been holding it all together. Whether you are in a working environment or not, I feel like you're highly pressurized at this time, because the Seven of Wands and the Tower can indicate you're under a lot of pressure. You're holding it all together. There's a lot of stress, and you're trying to manage stress levels this month. You could actually see a major breakthrough that gives you insight onto the next steps on your plan, but there's a lot of success on your path. The Chariot card indicates movement forward, movement and improvement. So I would say this is like a catalyst for change, if that makes sense. So it feels like a vehicle for you to transform and radically revamp your world. Now, of course, some of you could radically change your style, for example, or it could be that you have like an appointment, especially an eye appointment I'm being given right now. And it could be that perhaps, you've strained your eyes, or perhaps you notice that your prescription has changed in some way and you have to get a radically different eye prescription for your glasses than before. And you may be like, oh, I wonder why there's been such a radical change. So you may investigate that further. And for some of you, it could be that pressure, of course, but you may actually identify maybe some sort of food substance that perhaps has been affecting your eyes. This could be caffeine. Maybe it's messing with the receptors in your brain, or sugar, for example, and it is kind of like heightening certain emotions, but also changing the synapses and the pressure that's in your brain, and it may affect your eyes in some way. Things like migraines and tension headaches, also some tension in the shoulders is what I'm seeing, but I feel this all has a knock-on effect. It's all connected. So some of you may notice some pressure on the eye, behind the eye, or just notice that your prescription glasses have changed and it's down to pressure. So that's coming through there as well. I do feel it gets corrected, and actually I feel like you heal, and it almost feels, and always listen to a medical practitioner there, but I feel there could be this energy of like temporarily needing a stronger prescription, but ultimately your old glasses end up being okay in the end. Random, I know, but I feel you could correct something in your diet, or witness or notice something that perhaps has tipped you over the edge, as it were, and affected your eyes in some way. So it could be dehydration as well for some of you. So of course, eyes and the brain requires a lot of water there to function. So if you are not on top of your hydration, this could be a wake-up call, because the Tower is a wake-up call. Okay, and this is a protagonist energy. So some of you could have a personal realization, or a personal kind of like wake-up call, where you are stricter with yourself, or kick yourself into touch, as it were, where you don't want to accept things as they have been. You feel like you radically need to transform something, or pay attention to something, or really think about something right now. For some of you with that fourth house, it could be that globally things have shocked you, and you're thinking about your home space where you feel like you belong right now, and it could be that you are thinking about moving. Some of you are relocating, or thinking where it is best to be should there be any kind of like volatile changes in events that are going on around the world right now. Always important to bring your worries into perspective and not make any rash decisions, but always listen to your intuition as well there, okay? But the Tower, it says here, things are not as they seem. An opportunity for you to rebuild stronger. And that's exactly what I feel like you're doing. So if you've experienced some sort of shock and you're recalibrating, I definitely see here that you are stronger than the things that you've been dealing with, and I feel like you're overcome. There's so much success here, but this could also indicate that you're building something right now. And interesting, I'm just being given some really random images in the water right now. One is Jenga, the game Jenga. So this could indicate that right now you're like making a decision about some sort of move, and you want to make the right decision. You don't want it to come all toppling down by making the wrong move. But I feel it's important that you reflect on something. You're going to make the right decision, okay? And looking at the energy, head and heart, not just logistically how you should proceed, not just with your head there, engage your heart as well, very important. But I feel with the Chariot card, you make the right decision. I mean, either decision will be okay for you, but looking at the outcome, the Sun indicates that one avenue, because this is the fork in the road, Seven of Pentacles can be, a decision needs to be made, and you don't want to sit on the fence. And it feels like something could go one way or another, okay? And one way I feel it's okay, but the other way is more fulfilling. Reach for the one that is more fulfilling. Reach for the top, reach for the stars, okay? Because I feel like you're going to accomplish it. And there's no limits here. You know, that's what a tower can mean. You've reached your limit on something, but actually there's no limit. So it feels like you're breaking through a glass ceiling. This could be economically. It could be that there's an opportunity that is expected to go to someone else, or you expect it to go one way when actually it goes another, and it's very successful. It's actually something you'll celebrate. The sun is the most positive card in the deck, and you end with the sun. Things are blossoming, things are flourishing for you, but it may require some sort of critical revamp or shift or change on a foundational level. I mean, of course, this can indicate some of you, not all of you, but the tower can indicate that you may experience, especially if you're traveling, you may experience a minor vibration, I guess, a seismic shift, an earthquake, for example. But looking at the energy, the sun, the Chariot card, I feel like you're fine, okay? Looking at the energy, I want you to be aware of that. So if you're going to travel to a place right now that is prone to seismic activity, I feel like you could be in the zone or in the vicinity where they have one. But looking at the energy, I mean, Seven of Pentacles is to be safe, okay? I just want you to be aware of that. And the Sun card energy also is, you know, you see something or you witness it or you experience it. And yeah, I'll leave that there. But the Tower, because it is your protagonist energy, it means like a total overhaul or revamp. And this could be in your health. A lot of you, it is your mind and your energy. So it could be that you're calling your intrusive thoughts into review right now to make sure that you conquer any negative thoughts there. A lot of you with that Seven of Wands, you are building something. You are moving towards something. You're not giving up on it. And it's because you care so much about it that you've been under a lot of pressure. But I do see here some level of success. When you have a Seven of Pentacles, it means accomplishment, things coming to fruition, your hard work sort of bearing fruit. But it may be slow moving. It may be that, you know, with careful foresight, you can actually expand your reach on this, but you may need to take the lead on it. You can't just like accept that that's just the measure of it, you know. Like, for example, in the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, a figure is standing over a money bush, a money tree, right? And is seeing all these pentacles on the bush, and only one is ripe for the picking. So it could be that you're looking at your plans right now. One seems to be working. The others are like in a growth period, bubbling up. They're not quite ready for you to expand on right now. But the Chariot card indicates action. So, you know, that figure could put some extra fertilizer on to increase the growth, or do something like pruning, cutting back on something that perhaps isn't working, or, you know, paying attention to something that needs a little encouragement there. And I feel some of you could be having that wake-up call to pay attention to something that you could nurture or refocus on, as it were, and you'll see immediate results as soon as you refocus. That's something that's coming in there as well. But when you get a Tower, you know, especially as a protagonist energy, it can mean that you're under a lot of tension. And, you know, this could mean that you could be a little bit like frustrated, feeling a bit vulnerable there, especially when you're under pressure. You may be looking at your triggers this month, or anything that kind of triggers you to choose like an unhealthy option or reach for the quick fix, as it were, especially if you're looking at bodily energy. When you have the Seven of Pentacles and the Sun, it can be that you're looking at your own personal development and growth. You're looking at, you know, how you're investing in self and feeling a little bit dissatisfied with some things. So it could be that you are mindful not to reach for a quick fix or something that is negative for you during times of stress or pressure. So I feel this is something of a focus with that Sun energy. But I feel like you're building something rather than something toppling down. I feel like you're in the middle of building something and it is flourishing, but you may feel that you want to be a little bit further ahead than you feel like you are right now. But everything has a time and a place. It does feel like for the collective that, you know, July is a lull month. Doesn't mean nothing is happening. It just means that, you know, it gives you space to have new ideas. This Ace of Swords with a Tower can be a sudden epiphany, a realization. Especially with the Seven of Wands, it can be you realize why you've been under pressure, or why things can work easier if you change your perspective. You know, that Seven of Wands energy, whilst it does indicate stress, maybe even economically, you're looking at your finances because the Seven of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands were opposing. It can be that, you know, you're trying really hard to save money right now, or you're trying really hard to make life work financially. And the Ace of Swords indicates you're having like sudden ideas to make more money or to increase your wealth at this time. These could be second streams of income because you have that Chariot card. A lot of them can be ideas that you can utilize the internet or tap into the ether in some way, or even vocalize how you feel. Some of you with that fourth house and the Ace of Swords, you could actually launch a business from home. You could even like speak about things that are important to you at this time. Even if you're retired, for example, it can be that you inform people on how you moved into retirement, the legalities of that, you know, the change of pace, for example, how you have more quality time for you, but also you need to guard against boredom, or, you know, you need to look at how you are investing in your body, mind, and soul. And it could be things that you talk about on a podcast or on a video online. And it can be that people are going through the same thing. So you bring people together in understanding, because this is a card of understanding, and it can actually bring in more money. It may be slow moving at first, but I do feel it will expand financial growth there. So this could be something that you're thinking about at this time. Now, of course, your fourth house is governing you, okay? That's all about your home life. So there could be some changes in and around your home life there, whether it's a major relocation or a revamp there. But also, this can be you being very philosophical because your 11th house is also governing you. So this is you deep in thought, highly reflective on the next part of your path. But also your 11th house is about you connecting to your hopes, your wishes, what would bring you joy. You're manifesting at this time. So I feel like you're guarding your thoughts, making sure that they don't become negative and tear you down like a tower energy would. I feel like you're recognizing that thoughts become things, and with an outcome of the sun, it means you can have what you dream of having because you're taking necessary steps to maintain and sustain something and protect your dreams. You know, your 11th house shows that the universe will support you in reaching your goals, but you must take action. You can't just sit there and hope for things to just be better. You know, unfortunately, I hate to give that message, but I do see some sort of step in the right direction in July, which is really positive for you, but it does require action, and then you will see immediate results is what I'm seeing. But it feels like it's a slow energy at first, and then suddenly a boost, suddenly a flourishing. So for example, when you put a seed, because aces are always like seeds, you know, whether they're thoughts or something invested, you know, you put it in the soil. And you trust that the process is just going to happen, right? The germination of the seed. You can't see it. That little seed is like moving around. It's in soil. It's being nurtured by the sun warming up the earth, but also the water kind of nurturing it, hydrating it, and nourishing it. And then suddenly a sprout happens. And it's slow at first. But then suddenly it starts to bloom and blossom. And I feel that's something that's going to happen for you over the course of the month. Now, this could be a friendship. It could also be a business idea. It could be, you know, your involvement in the neighborhood. A lot of you, if you are in a new neighborhood or if you feel unappreciated in some sort of group activity, I feel you could be offered more responsibility. And this responsibility, it's weird how I'm getting this. It feels like this responsibility shows that you make an impact, that you are important, and that people appreciate you. Otherwise, they wouldn't have offered you this responsibility. So some of you, this could be a promotion being offered as well. Something is being given here, but the Seven of Pentacles indicates at first you feel a bit like meh, dissatisfied with it. But then when you really look into it, you see that actually there's a lot of exciting things that are attached to it. Advancement, success, flourishing, and things working in your favor. Now, also, I feel a lot of you are learning to communicate your needs effectively in the home space with the people you care about, analyzing, you know, how you are expressing yourself so that your needs are met, but from a healthy place. there. And, you know, the star will make sure that you're aligned with that. I mean, I feel a lot of you with that tower, you've been going through a lot of pressure, and the star indicates healing. The sun indicates brighter times ahead there, and happiness will reign again once more, as well as peace. But with the star in the resistance position at first, it feels like you've been going through a test. And some of you may literally have a test in the month of July. But what I want you to be aware is you may be surprised with one or a couple of the questions if you're having a test, and it may even be something that you didn't prepare for. But I want you to be aware with that Seven of Wands, you've got this. It's like you know this. It's like you, deep down you were prepared, even though you may not have studied a certain sector of it. Because it feels like there's a plot twist here where you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't expect they would ask questions like that, but suddenly you just know what to do. Suddenly the knowledge is there. You already have it, because the Seven of Wands indicates that you breezed through this. You were ready, even though you felt like you weren't. Or it's almost like you're prepared, but you were caught off guard. But because you were prepared, you know your stuff, you're just going to be very successful and celebrate a win here, okay? But you may be feeling a bit fed up that if this is a test that was not on a module or was not mentioned as something that would be in the test, you may be feeling a little bit angry or frustrated that they try to catch you out. And this is something that's meaning so much to you. And, you know, but it also highlights what you're capable of under intense pressure. Or, I mean, this is across the board, whether you're taking a test or not. The star energy is testing times. I feel that Seven of Wands shows that you're capable of defending your position or standing for what you believe in right now and maintaining and sustaining something that you're working hard towards accomplishing. You're definitely very goal-oriented. Your 11th house means you're focused on your goals, and your wishes are not just wishes. They're not just dreams. They become reality, because the Seven of Pentacles is material. It means, you know, these things exist in your future. And the sun indicates a focus to keep maintaining them so that you can nurture things and expand your reach. So if you are in business, whether you work for yourself, some of you may feel isolated, that you work so hard and that you always have to do everything yourself and you're under a lot of pressure, but suddenly you get the breakthrough that you need. You see the rewards, and it's all going to be worth it there. Seven of Pentacles, you know, it's almost like, and I'm getting, as I said, a couple of images. One went away, so I had to wait for it to come back there. I'm seeing the world, okay, which means goal-oriented. Of course, it can indicate that you're worried about the world events, but looking at the energy here, I feel, you know, that you are kind of like making decisions from an informed place, and I feel that there's this energy of being protected, okay? That's coming through there as well. But the star energy, I'm seeing this image right now of a little tadpole moving through the water, okay? And this tadpole is about to sort of develop into a frog. It's about to grow legs and, you know, have the ability to leap. So I feel like you could be in the flow of something that is challenging, that you almost feel like you're swimming upstream right now, but frogs represent good luck, fortune. It's like you're making your own luck right now. You're determined, and you are going to be very productive and get to a position where you are going through growth. This could be personally, it doesn't have to be connected to career, but it feels like suddenly then you take a monumental leap. Things get infinitely better, if that makes sense. Okay, I feel there's an upgrade here or an elevation. And the star, it says here, a sign of a peaceful period of healing, especially after that tower, feeling truly confident and being yourself around other people as well, is coming into review. I mean, some of you may even have like a spot on the review. You know, if you're at work, it could be that suddenly your boss says, hey, we've got a review in about half an hour. Get yourself ready. And you're like, what? But you're already ready for this. For some of you, if you like run a restaurant, for example, it could be that you have a spot health and safety check, right? And it's like, well, you know what? I'm on top of my game. I care about what I do. So it's not really a surprise because you're ready, because this is how you conduct business all the time. You know, you've got everything in order because that's how you run things. So, you know, star can connect to health and safety. So some of you are looking at your health this month, especially with a lot of pressure on your shoulders there. So you could be managing stress levels. But the star, especially with your 11th house, means that you are going to align with a wish or a dream come true. And the Temperance card can indicate like out of the chaos, because the Temperance card is in the resistance position. It feels like out of the chaos or out of the extra things that you have to do. You're going the extra mile. It feels like everything comes into alignment. And just when you're like starting to doubt or look at alternative paths, everything just aligns perfectly the way that you'd hoped for. But the Temperance card is all about your sense of purpose. Okay, and you have the Judgment card, which is also a card of purpose. So some of you, there is an energy here that you've been avoiding something, or perhaps you haven't had time to focus on something. This will come into review in the middle of the month, and you will align yourself with the necessary steps that you need to take in order to get back on track. Because I feel this month is a bit of a wake-up call to get back on track with something that either has lapsed or you haven't had time to focus on. I feel also you're blending your energy, so this would be a great time to think about second streams of income or something that complements your life in some way, and it's connected to your sense of purpose. It's like, can you do the two things? The answer is yes. Will it add more pressure? Well, not if you structure things in a certain way. You know, Ace of Swords is to get clear on some sort of schedule, or you know, be ready for change, as it were. And this change will help you advance, but also help you be in control of the energy so you can be at your optimum best. Now, of course, Ace of Swords, for some of you, there is this energy that if you have been waiting for a medical procedure, you could suddenly hear of a cancellation, and there's a bit of a plot twist. You may, you know, grab that appointment for you, and I feel that... interesting. Thanks so much. I'm sure grateful. I feel it could get rescheduled again. I hate to give you that message. It's like, maybe it's just the time that then gets rescheduled. So it's like you clinch a date, but perhaps you're given a date like the 11th of July at 10 a.m. And then suddenly you get another letter saying, okay, it's still going to be on that date. However, it's now 2 p.m. You've been bumped to the afternoon. Okay, so it could be something like that. That's frustrating, but at the same time, you manage it. It's fine. Okay. Now, the Judgment card can indicate you have to make a decision, and you're reaching for something right now, reaching for something more, or trying to build towards something that's going to help you move forward in life. And it may feel like things are suspended because you're in the middle of it, but you are going to make major advancements and headway in July. You may return to something, you know, with that Judgment energy. It can be that you have a rebirth on it. I mean, the Judgment card means an awakening, and you have two major awakening cards. With that Seven of Wands, it means you're protecting your energy during an awakening. So if you feel like you're being isolated in some way, it means you are downloading higher frequencies. New information is coming towards you, and you need to protect your energy from others, especially anyone who's toxic at this time, because you're feeling drained already with these downloads. You need to protect your energy there. And I feel with that Judgment, you're being more discerning about the things you connect to this month, in order to remain in balance and keep an even keel. Now, some of you, of course, with the star energy, you may be healing after an unwellness, or you may notice that your body has been out of sync or out of alignment, especially with hormones, or, I mean, for some of you, there could be a vitamin, I don't want to say a deficiency, I feel like you could be having too much of a vitamin. You may not realize this, but it could be like a bit of a wake-up call, like you've had too much of something, and you're like, oh, I didn't realize it could affect you in that way. So I feel like you recalibrate. Okay, it's definitely a recalibration energy. The star indicates you healed from this. I'm not sure what this could be, so always check in with a medical practitioner. If you're feeling out of sync with your body in some way, you may find that there's too much of something going on, and there is a recalibration energy going on there as well. But ultimately, I feel this month is all about your direction, your sense of purpose, and, you know, where you're headed to next. I mean, a lot of you are critically trying to get everything together in order to take a vacation. And you're going to have a wonderful time there. But also, whilst you're there, you know, Seven of Pentacles gives you thinking time to reassess where you feel disappointed or dissatisfied. You're evaluating the developments in your life. A lot of you are also checking in financially. You know, you could be looking at your savings and seeing that inflation is nibbling away at certain things. So you may be thinking of new ways to safeguard your finances, especially with that fourth house, but also that Seven of Wands there. That's a protector energy. And it says here, you need to take the lead on something, working on your own confidence to attract the person or the situation you want. So this is, you know, you taking accountability with that Ace of Swords, saying, I want this. You're deciding decisively on something, and the universe is saying, okay, now I'm going to open up a portal of opportunity for you to have it. So whether that's more wealth, whether it's love, whether it's, more connection with people, authentic friendships, whatever it is for you, I feel this is a radical breakthrough month for you to have it. I mean, the Chariot card means success. It means a breakthrough, a pinnacle point. It means moving forward after difficulty. But also, it indicates that this is your destiny that you're thinking about right now. You are reigniting that passion and drive, and you're leaving the old behind. So if something has had a grip on you, a memory, a haunting from the past, I feel like you're setting yourself free this month, and you are taking charge. You're in control of the reins this month as well. Now, of course, if you're having a vacation, you're going to have a wonderful time there. Seven of Pentacles, there's an energy here as well of planning ahead. So this time away, or this moment, gives you an opportunity to tap into your goals, long-term goals, and what you feel is necessary for the next stages. And I feel a lot of you are planning change because of that Tower. So you may start something that helps you make those changes. I mean, this indicates that, you have what you need right now, and you are attracting more. But also it can be that, you are reinvesting in self, treating yourself, or even pooling your resources towards self-development, a course of learning, or a vacation that helps you relax and, recalibrate in some way, because you can't be on the go all the time. So I feel like you are grounding yourself this month there as well. I mean, in terms of Pentacles, I feel the energy is you look back on July saying, okay, I could have saved a little bit more money, but I treated myself and I'm worth it. So it is what it is. That's what I'm picking up from your reading. I do see that you're on top of bills. I feel like you are maintaining and sustaining. And if any of you are looking for an opportunity, I definitely see a new role coming on in here for you where you really thrive. It's very fast paced. You're in control of it, and you staircase in this role quite quickly. So you may even move on to a new status quite quickly in this new role. But the Sun energy indicates a flourishing, a personal development flourishing, but also a sense of clarity as to where you feel like you're at right now and the necessary changes that you need to make. This card is raw energy, that driven kind of energy. But, a lot of your cards are driving out the old to embrace the new. So there could be a fresh new start here. And it can all start with a thought. Some of you want to migrate your business or your life overseas, because the Chariot card is movement, relocation. Some of you may want to work on the go. You may want to be more nomadic in your circumstances. Whatever your focus is this month, because the Ace of Swords is all about focus, you shall see clarity and peace in it, but also success. It feels like a small win this month, but also more bigger wins in the future for you, if that makes sense there as well. And I feel like you're working really hard to make this happen. Okay, I feel like your primary focus is on your energy levels. It's on your ideas, you're inspired, making changes, brand new starts here. For some of you, I feel travel is definitely starred here, but most importantly, it's advancement to the next level. Looking at where you feel, a little bit dissatisfied, so you can check the exchange and move towards changing something to accomplish more. We have an unclear path energy. Now, this can be because you are trying to take stock of things, get clarity. That's why you're feeling unclear. But I'm seeing this little tadpole. It's like replaying. It's like, I guess the tadpole doesn't know that it's going to turn into the frog. Maybe it does. I'm not really sure. But, I feel it's a natural progression. Okay. And this can also be that if you think about the nature of a tadpole, it is on water until it sprouts legs and then becomes fully formed as a frog. So it can be that you are navigating something that requires flexibility, but you're moving into uncharted territory, but you're a natural. It's like you take to it naturally because it's in your evolutionary energy and makeup to be successful. This is your divine right to be successful, to take action on something, to take charge. Now, there's no people in your energy, okay? So the fact that bad gossip has come out. This has come out for a couple of people, a couple of signs, okay? When you're about to do something so monumental, that's when trolls will come out and try and, dampen your energy or knock you off your perch or tell you can't do it. But this is the fuel that you need in order to say, watch me. And then you thrive and you are so successful that you just leave them in the dust, for example. So if you're trying to do something online or you're about to launch something for some of you, some of you may be worried that it's not received well or that people are going to talk about it in a negative way. But actually, I feel, looking at the energy, deep down, you're doing something really important to you, and that's all that matters. And it's going to be very successful. So anyone who has something negative to say about it, it normally means that they feel like they're not capable of doing it themselves. But I'll read what the card says. It says, people are gossiping behind your back, and it would be wise to be careful with your actions right now. Bad reputation, enemy, bad talk. Okay, so I would watch who you tell your dreams to, because, sometimes people, they try to crush your dreams, or they try to, make you feel bad because they feel bad. So just watch out for that. I would distance myself from anyone who is constantly negative about anything that you say right now, because you're about to launch yourself into something really wonderful. But of course, a lot of you are in review, so that can be that something is unclear. You need to take stock of something or get the information before you can move ahead. But it says here, step by step, keep going. I mentioned earlier that it's like a slow process, but suddenly it flourishes. And it says here, and it will lead you to a destination that you might not have considered. This is the fork in the road. A lot of you are thinking about the alternative path as to where you are right now and where you could be. But I feel like you're aligning yourself with a brighter future, and all the possibilities are there for you to play for, okay? It says unknown and hidden blessings. So something you're not even aware of is about to be bestowed upon you. A hidden win, an opportunity, perhaps something you've been questioning, but suddenly, the universe sends you a bit of a plot twist there, and it's something you celebrate. It's definitely a portal of opportunity here for you, because you have that sun energy. Now we have crystal clear. Isn't that wonderful? Because we have unclear path, and then we have crystal clear. So suddenly, you know what to do. You're choosing the right path. I did mention that in your reading. It feels very much like this is a month of strategy before moving ahead with something, whether it's creating your own business, whether it is launching something or relocating. It says here, it's time to see your life and its limitless potential. Yes. As I feel with that tower, you've hit a level or a plateau, and now you're looking at how you can break free from a limitation. Because you are limitless. You're going the distance on something. And it says you have a lot of potential. And it's time to see your life and its limitless potential without seeing through rose-tinted glasses. So if anyone is trying to spin things negatively, or even intrusive thoughts come in to give you doubt or tear you down just before you're about to do something radical and exciting, those thoughts always come in just before you're about to take a wonderful leap of faith. And I would say go for it, because you're going to be very successful. So it says clarity, certainty, and truth. You're leading with your truth. We've also got good choices. Yes. So that definitely came out there. You're not going to make a wrong move. You're not going to make a wrong choice, okay? Intuitively, you're making the next steps of your life work for you. And it says, expect a positive outcome. You got the sun there, so that definitely came through from the good choices that you have made in the past. And it says, in alignment, forethought. So you're prepared. You are ready for this. And I feel this is a glow up. Okay, and I know that sometimes glow-ups, what does that mean? But it can mean that, you've been investing in something for such a long time, you've seen no evidence of it working, whether that's you hitting the gym, whether that's you on a diet, whether that's you, in a career, whether that's you kind of like trying to have a breakthrough in a hobby, whether it's a personal development, trying to connect to your higher self. You could have reached a certain level or plateau in your spiritual development, and you just can't get past a certain image or a certain meditation or a certain point. This is the breakthrough month for you, where you are freeing your mind, freeing yourself up there. And we also have encounter. Okay, and an unexpected encounter will slowly alter the course of your life. Keep an open mind, surprise, meeting, and by chance. So I would definitely say there's a surprise here that will alter the course of your life, because the Seven of Pentacles is there, which means it spins you off to the alternative. Now the goal may be the same, but you may explore an alternative avenue to reach it, and maybe even in a quicker time. Okay, so I'm quite excited there for your July. I'm just going to go and get a sense of the room before we close. Okay, we have the skeleton. So with the bad gossip, for some of you, it could be that someone is talking negatively about you and you catch them, but actually you know a lot about this person too. So, you know, they have skeletons in their closet, and it could be that you take the higher moral ground where you're like, I'm not going to expose you, but don't be, you know, bad-mouthing me. It could be that you challenge them, because the Seven of Wands is to stand up for something there. But ultimately, this connects to the Death card energy, which means radical change. And when you have a transition so big that you see the Tower as a protagonist energy, because this Tower is working for you, it's not against you. It feels like you are restructuring, and this trinket can indicate that you are transitioning to a place where it's better. You're opening up portals of change and opportunity to let go of things that no longer serve your purpose so that you can reach for better. You're upgrading or leveling up in some way. And, you know, the skeleton energy can also connect to health, you know, visiting a practitioner, looking into something that perhaps you're worried about. But I feel it could be that you get a review that's favorable, but it feels like you may be having too much of something, and you may need to recalibrate, and you may be a little bit fed up at first, but you see a breakthrough there, and there's a lot of healing. There's so much light here, okay? So we'll leave it there. I hope something resonates with you, my beautiful Librans. Thank you so much, and love and light.